Warning right off the top here, the following video contains spoilers for Season 2 of The Boys and potentially the comic book series. It will also contain at some point some cringe-worthy puns. That's how we roll, baby. You have been warned. Please proceed at your own risk. The Season 2 finale of The Boys was mind-blowing, literally for some, and has set up some great plot lines for the potential new supervillain Victoria Neuman. But what exactly do we know about the character? So by now you've had some time to process the insanity that was The Boys Season 2 finale, where we saw heads exploding, awesome fight scenes, and Homelander being Homelander in a way that makes you want someone to heat vision your eyes out. But the first point provided one of the biggest plot points for Season 3, and that is that the seemingly kind and progressive politician Victoria Neuman is actually a head-popping supervillain who will apparently kill anybody and everybody. It was a shocking twist that left our brains fried more than Stormfront, and one which no one really saw coming. While this will have no doubt major repercussions for Season 3, we have to wonder, how did Neuman manage to hide in plain sight, and what exactly do we know about the character? In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the character of Victoria Neuman and dissect all we know about the head popper, from comic book origins, references to real-life people, and a potential superpower that could make her stronger than Homelander. Get ready to have your mind blown all over again. Not literally this time. And of course, beware of Season 2 spoilers.
I don't give a shit.
To be honest, we thought we had a decent idea of who Victoria Neuman was and what she stood for, but after the Season 2 finale, that has thrown all that up in the air. The twist made us question her motives and beliefs, and of course the full scope of her powers that were exhibited. But let's start with what we do know about her, and that is the fact that she's the supervillain that's been causing people's heads to explode. We see this in the finale after she finishes a call with the Church of the Collective leader, that Alistair guy, and the two shared that they have a mutual alliance. Alistair congratulated Neuman for her appointment as head of the newly developed Office of Superhuman Affairs, while Victoria thanked Alistair for helping to provide and collect the information that led to bringing down Stormfront, which, to be fair, we are all somewhat grateful for. Alistair offers to keep the alliance going, asking for the church to be officially stated as a tax-exempt organization, while in return he gives her compromising information on a number of supes. This seems to suggest the two will be working side by side in Season 3, until we see Alistair's head explode like a can of Fresca placed under the wheel of a car shortly after ending that call. This then cuts to Neuman standing outside of Alistair's office, her eyes glazed over and a menacing smirk on her face, indicating of course that she is the head-popping super responsible for a number of crimes, such as the attack on Congress during the judiciary hearings. We also see poor, naive Huey joining up with Neuman to take down the supes the right way. Yeah, somehow I don't think he had head-popping in mind, but it's easy to understand why Huey would have been seduced by Neuman's methods, and why he would want to take Homelander and Vought via politics, especially due to the firebrand progressive facade Neuman had throughout the second season, seemingly being the challenger to Vought and overpowered supes. It's no secret that the character is a parody of real-life politician Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, with the character who plays Neuman, Claudia Doumit, stating she even emulates AOC's mannerisms, but the similarities seemingly end there. Neuman's motives are a lot more menacing than we first assumed, and with Huey on side, it plants many seeds for Season 3 that could cause a lot more drama, and presumably many more gory deaths. But although we know Neuman is a very powerful supe with the ability to pop people's heads at will, what are Neuman's powers exactly? Right now, the scope of her powers are somewhat undefined. Yes, she can pop people's heads, but how? Does she have telekinetic powers? Or does she use micro-explosions similar to Tabitha Smith in the X-Men? Or is she using some kind of electromagnetic energy to expand people's heads? We know she's powerful, but depending on what else she can do, she could be even more powerful, more deadly and unhinged than existing characters such as, oh you know, our favorite residential, unhinged, overpowered, and homicidal supe, Homelander. We know Homelander and Neuman don't exactly see eye to eye, but could Neuman use her powers to make those eyes explode? That we'll have to wait and see. Also, does she have any link or affiliation with Sage Grove escapee Cindy, who seemingly has similar powers to Neuman? They could go head-to-head in Season 3, or even worse, link up. One thing we can perhaps assume is that Neuman's powers are somewhat restrained by proximity. She is seemingly only able to use her powers to explode people's heads when she's in the area of her victims, and not just able to pop people's heads from anywhere across the globe. So I mean, that's some kind of reassurance, I guess.
Okay, this is insane.
Another thing that we know about Neuman is that, like a majority of other characters, she also does exist in the comic books, except she is very, very different. Firstly, like Stormfront, Stillwell, and Mallory, she has been gender flipped, with Neuman being a man in the comics. In the comics, Neuman is also a politician, and again a parody of a real-life politician, although this time it's an extremely unflattering parody of President George Bush. Not that head-popping supervillains is a particularly pleasant portrayal. Victor Neuman from the comics is, to be frank, as dumb as the day is long. In fact, he's so dumb that he struggles to read from a teleprompter and even sign his own name. He also comes from a supremely rich conservative family, and like so many other characters in The Boys, is a flat-out creep. But these characters work perfectly for the powers that be, and Victor effectively becomes a puppet for Vought, who grooms him and bides their time to make Neuman run for president, where they can use him to put through any law of their choosing. By having their puppet as a leader, Vought can rake in the money from the Defense Department and intersperse their heroes into the military, a motive shared by Vought in Season 1. But Victoria Neuman seems like a completely different kettle of fish. She is much more liberal and is seemingly bent on bringing down Vought and bringing overpowered superheroes to justice. Ironic, seeing as that is exactly what she is. Neuman organizes rallies and protests against the introduction of supes into the military, which is in direct contrast to Victor in the comic books. But has all this just been a ruse? Certainly she doesn't care about using her powers to kill people, but is she secretly working for Vought, or does she have her own agenda? By taking Vought down, she can create her own, even more powerful organization that will make the ruthless Juggernaut look pale in comparison. Or will the show be more in keeping with the comics and make the character a secret puppet for Vought, with less of the creepiness and with an actual functioning brain? The show has never been afraid to veer off from the comic books, but it is possible that perhaps Neuman and Vought are secretly working hand in hand, although that does feel counterintuitive in places. Neuman played her part perfectly throughout Season 1. She went relatively unnoticed by us as an audience, and no one seemingly thought that she would be the head-popping supe that attacked Congress, with her fleeing in what we know now as fake terror during the attack. In hindsight, there were some visual cues, but it was certainly a huge shock upon the reveal that it was Neuman all along, especially as, on the surface, she seems to be determined to bring Vought to justice. She's even the one who brings Stormfront to justice after the leaked information from A-Train is given to her, which she seemingly preemptively returned the favor by taking out Shockwave. By dragging Stormfront through the mud and revealing her as the brutal fascist she is, she sent a hammer blow to the side of Vought, taking down their new poster model and showcasing that Vought really is not in control of their supes. Stormfront's reveal certainly was a massive blow to Vought, one in which Edgar is undoubtedly not too happy about, and is in keeping with Neuman's initial motives. But was the attack on Congress her way of protecting Vought? Or was she engineering a way for her to have more power to take down Vought? And in this case, what is her motive to take them down? Does she hold anger to the company who created her and has a desire to take them down and establish herself as the true power? Potentially, it could certainly lead to a nice, and when I mean nice, I mean violent, confrontation between her and Homelander. But surely Vought would know about Neuman if they were the ones who created her and know about her abilities, unless somehow there was some unregulated supes out there. If they know about Neuman, are they secretly in cahoots? Right now, it's hard to see what their mutual angle would be, as Neuman has seemingly only hurt the company, but maybe new plot threads will become apparent in Season 3. By taking out Alistair and members of Congress, Neuman is certainly not afraid to use quick violence to secretly take down powerful organizations. So why is she biding her time with Vought? There certainly seems to be some people working in the shadows with hidden agendas, but whatever these motives are, Neuman is undoubtedly going to play a huge part in the upcoming season, especially now as she's gained a major ally in one of the leading protagonists. Aw, Huey. How will this all play out in Season 3? And how will she interact with other characters? With showrunner Eric Kripke stating that Homelander will be a homicidal maniac in the upcoming season, it stands to reason that Neuman and Homelander will again be coming up against each other at some point, and at that time, Neuman may finally show her hand. Or do Cindy and her similar powers have more in common with Neuman than just the power to crush people? Could she be a secret relative of Neuman's? Maybe Neuman was also a fellow resident at Sage Grove. Also, how will new addition Jensen Ackles' Soldier Boy work in the storyline? And will he have some connection with Neuman? Either way, Neuman will play a part with the big fish in the show and is shaping up to take over the Void, assumingly vacated by Stormfront as the big bad of the show. But of course, remember, seeing as Stormfront didn't actually die in the season 2 finale, she could also make a, there's a pun coming here, shocking return. Yeah, okay. So many theories, so little answers. Come on, Amazon, get to work. Or I'm gonna keep making Stormfront puns. I'll bring the thunder. Yeah, gotcha again. What did you make of this video? What do you think this reveal will mean for season 3? Did you know it was her all along? Let us know in the comments below and make sure to subscribe to ScreenRant for this and everything else the boys. See ya.